What's up, fellas? It's Lou Dizzle. Trying to troubleshoot this alternator whine problem. It's driving me crazy. So here's a little video to help you help me, because I got a bunch more speakers and stuff that's supposed to go in this car that I already have in my possession, but I really don't even want to do anything else to the system until I can get rid of this noise, because it's driving me nuts. So this is what I've done so far. I replaced the ground from the chassis here to the engine. So it's a nice piece of 4 gauge. I know the big 3 is supposed to be 0 gauge, but I'm not going to upgrade my 0 gauge until I get my bigger alternator and my other batteries and my big amp. Because right now, let me show you what I got in the trunk. Because what I have right now should be able to sustain what I have. I have the 1000 watt Crescendo mids and highs amp and a Kicker 800x2. And one thing I didn't mention in my posts is that I do have a capacitor for the time being, 3 farad cap. Got a new battery coming for under the hood. So what I'm probably gonna do is it's a Stinger SPV35 battery. So this red top here, which I know a lot of you guys don't really like, but the red top's probably going to go back in my trunk just to provide a little bit of more support for the system. And the Stinger SPV35 will go here, which is a little bit better of a battery. I also upgraded the ground wire there, and that goes to the engine. That connection's good also. So let me turn my light on here. That's my alternator. I tried to, I can't even get down in there to show you the plug, but I tried to replace, let's see if I can, no, I can't get it in there to show you the lug, but I tried to add a 4 gauge from there over to my power last night, but I mean, it's so down in there that I couldn't even really get to it. So I'm going to have to borrow some sockets or something from somebody. I have a 10mm wrench, but not a 10mm socket. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the path of where the wires go. Okay, this is my kick panel. Take this off. Oh, whore. Yeah, been a lot of cursing in this audio video install. Alright, so my 4 gauge comes from my engine bay, and first thing is it hits this, which is just like a small 4 gauge distro, because I have a piece of 4 gauge that runs like under here and goes to the passenger side. I'll show you that in a second. So my 4 gauge runs back to the capacitor, obviously, and then goes to my amps, and then the ground from the capacitor goes into the trunk, and it's under my seats, which let's see if I can even show you. I don't know if I can or not without taking the seat up. Probably gonna have to do that. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that or not. So that's my ground there, and I mean that bolt goes pretty far into the car. It's probably an inch and a half bolt. It goes down there pretty far. So I figured that was a good ground, but last night I was trying to test and see if I ran a ground from my battery to the trunk, if I still got whine, but that's when I popped the fuse and the car wouldn't start and all that stuff. So alright, let me show you the power distribution for the video. The wires are kind of messy and stuff like that, but when I get my sound deadener in, all this stuff, I gotta take everything out anyway. So I've got, that 4 gauge that I showed you runs from there and goes into this distro here for my TVs. And then my ground, which, you know, I mean, this looks like a pretty good ground right there. It's like straight to the chassis. Let me turn on the macro so you can see it. I mean, that looks like a pretty dang good ground to me. It's like straight metal. There's not even any paint or anything on it. So, let me put all this crap back in there. I tried this guy here. What you see there, that's a noise suppressor. That comes from, like, I'm not even using the power and the ground from the harness for my car, because I heard that gives you noise too. So I'm using the power and the ground, you know, the power from the 4 gauge and the ground from that ground from my my radio power and ground. I was kind of hoping that was going to fix it too, but that didn't help it. So there's the setup. You know, I'm starting to think that my stock alternator is just noisy or something, because, you know, I mean, I could see if it was just the amps that were noisy, then it might just be the amp ground, but when I turn the TVs and stuff on above a certain RPM, you can kind of see the noise on the TV. So that just kind of leads me to believe that that power wire, it's got noise. It's just noisy. Give you guys a little example. You hear it now before this thing even starts up. Oh, I hate you! I hate you, alternator noise. You're driving me nuts. You can, like, especially hear it through the 1-inch tweeter. It just drives me nuts. Oh, I want to kill you, alternator noise. Alright, so maybe you guys can help me out a little bit. I know it's a pain in the butt trying to figure this out, but like I said, I don't even want to put any more speakers or upgrade amp, or, I mean, I got deadener coming in and I have like zero interest in putting the deadener in because my car is freaking noisy. Like, you know, I'm gonna go to the back because it seems like in the back speakers it's got even something else, like a different noise. Like, listen to that. It's kind of like a really fast clicking and stuff too. It's like, God, man, it's driving me nuts, you know. And I didn't run my RCAs along the power wire. You know, they're on the separate side of the car. Power wire is on the driver's side, and the RCAs, they run along the right side. So I can't really pull this board up right now. I mean, maybe I'll show you guys when I go to do my deadener, but the power and the ground go to two 4-gauge distribution blocks, which just turns 1 into 2. So that's the video. Thank you guys for your advice and all that stuff, and see if we can't get this thing down to zero noise.